Hello everyone, welcome back to the HSC Coach. Today we are going to discuss a very important and life-saving topic, which is electrical safety. In this video, we will understand electrical safety from basic to advanced level in a simple and practical way. We will cover basic principles of electricity, common electrical hazards, effects of electric shocks on the human body, causes of electrical accidents, electrical risk assessment, control measures and safe system of work, portable equipment safety, inspections and maintenance, emergency procedures, and the role of employees and management in electrical safety. So let's get started with all about electrical safety. To understand electrical safety, we must first understand the basics. Electricity is the flow of electric current through a conductor. There are three key terms. The first one is voltage, which measures in volts, which is the force pushing electricity. The second is current, which measures in amperes, which is the flow of electricity. And third is resistance, measures in ohms, which opposes the flow. Electricity flows in a closed circuit. If the human body becomes part of the circuit, current flows through the body, which can be extremely dangerous. Now let's talk about the types of electrical supply. There are two main types of electrical current. The first one is direct current, that is DC. Electric current flows in one direction, example batteries, and the second one is alternative current, that is AC. Electric current changes in directions periodically, that is called as alternative current. Example like mains electricity supply. Alternative current is more commonly used in workplaces and is more dangerous at higher voltages. Now let's talk about the electrical hazards. Electrical hazards can arise in many forms. Common hazards include like electric shocks, burns, fire caused by electrical faults, explosion in hazardous area, arc flash and arc blast. Now let's talk about the effects of electric shock on the human body. The severity of electric shocks depends on the current level, durations of exposure, path through the body, health conditions of the persons. Now let's talk about the effects of what are the effects on the human body. So effects include mild shock, tingling sensations, muscle contractions, inability to release conductor, respiratory failure, cardiac arrest, severe burns, death. These are the effects. Even a small current can be fatal under certain conditions. Now let's talk about the common causes of electrical accidents. Electrical accidents usually occur due to unsafe conditions or unsafe packs. Common causes include damaged cables and wires, exposed live conductors, poor insulations, overloaded circuits, lack of maintenance, use of the defective equipment, wet conditions, unauthorized repairs, lack of training. Now let's understand with the example. A worker uses a damaged extension cable in a wet area. This increases the risk of electric shock significantly. Now let's talk about the electrical risk assessment. Electrical risk assessment helps identify hazards and implement controls. It follows these steps. Step 1 is identify hazards. Examples like exposed wires, overloaded sockets, faulty equipment. These are the hazards we can identify. Now let's move to the second step, which is identify the people at risk. So the electricians, maintenance workers, machine operators, office staff. So these are the people which are at the risk. Now let's move to the third step, which is now we have to evaluate the risks and implement the controls. So we can take that the repair damaged equipment, use proper insulation, install protective devices. These are the control measures we can take. Now let's move to this step 4, which is the record findings and train employees. So we can maintain inspection records and provide training to the workers. And last one is the step 5, which is the review regularly. After incident we can review it, or after equipment changes we can review it. So these are the 5 steps. By using this we can implement, or we can do the risk assessment at our site regarding the electrical. Now let's talk about what are the control measures for electrical safety. Electrical hazards can be controlled using various methods. So whenever you have to take the control measures, you have to follow the hierarchy. In the hierarchy, There are 5 steps. So the first one step is eliminations. So always try to do the first step. If first step is not possible to do, then you can move to the second step. But focus on first step, that is the eliminations, means remove electrical hazards where possible. If first step is not possible, then move to the second step, that is the substitutions. So you can use lower voltage systems. Then third step is engineering controls. So you can take that insulations, earthing system you can implement, circuit breakers, residual current devices, that is RCD or ELCB or RCCB, you can implement at our site. Then the fourth step, that is the administrative controls. In administrative control, you can do that permit to work system you can implement at your site, lockout tagout system, training and supervisions. So these are the administrative controls you can take. And the last one is, that is the PPE. You can use insulated gloves, safety shoes, arc resistance clothing. These are the PPE you can use. So these are the 5 steps of hierarchy, and by using this you can take the control measures for electrical safety. Now let's talk about the safe system of work. Safe systems are essentials for electrical work. The first one is isolations, which disconnect the power supply before work. The second is LOTO, that is the lockout tagout systems. Here you ensure that the equipment cannot be energized accidentally. Third one is permit to work system. You can implement permit to work system at your site for high risk electrical tasks. And fourth one is competent persons, means those persons are working on the electrical system, they must be trained. Only trained and authorized person should perform the electrical work, that you have to make sure. So these are the safe system of work you can implement at your site. Now let's talk about the portable electrical equipment safety. The portable electrical equipment is widely used and often causes accidents. Example like drills, grinders, extension leads. So what are the control measures we can take for this? So regular inspections, you can do the regular inspections of portable equipments, use of proper plugs and cables, avoid use in wet conditions, and use RCD protections. These are the control measures we can take for the portable electrical equipment. Now let's talk about the inspections and maintenance. So regular inspections is very critical. There are various types of inspections we can do. That the first one is visual inspection. In visual inspections you can check that the cable is damaged or no, loose connection, is there any loose connections, burn, is there any burn marks, we can check by visually. The second is testing. Insulation resistance testing we can do, earth continuity testing we can do. And third one is preventive maintenance. If you found that there is a wire and which is in damaged conditions, you can replace it, replace worn out components, maintain records, that is the preventive maintenance. Now let's talk about the emergency procedures. In case of electrical accident, what are the steps you can follow or you can do? Now if you find that if you see that there is a person who got the electrical shock, so do not touch the victim directly. There may be a still there is a contact with the live current, so make sure you have to follow that, do not touch the victim directly. First you have to switch off the power supply, disconnect electricity immediately. Then use non-conductive materials. For that you can use dry wood or plastic to separate victim. And then after you can provide first aid. For the first aid, if required, you can give the CPR, then treat the burns. And lastly you can call the emergency services, that is if you take the quick response, then it can save the life of the victims. So these are the steps you can follow for the emergency procedures. Now let's talk about the role of employees and management in electrical safety. Electrical safety is everyone's responsibility, it is not the single person's responsibility. So the first one is employees. What are the duties of or role of employees? So employees must report damaged equipment if they found, avoid unauthorized repairs, follow safety procedures, use equipment properly, and participate in training. So these are the employees' duties or roles. Now let's talk about the management role. So management must provide safe equipment, They must ensure that the maintenance is going on, provide training and implement safety systems. So these are the management rules. Thank you for watching this video on electrical safety. Always remember, electricity is useful, but it can also be dangerous if not handled properly. Follow safety procedures, use proper PPE, and never ignore electrical hazards. If you found this video helpful, like, share and subscribe to the HSE Coach for more safety training videos. Stay safe, stay alert, and see you in the next video.